Hey everybody, Ryan here from Ryan Hockey Channel. Alright, going to be going over the Dallas Stars 2021-2022 season preview. And I know this is a very bright background, but I was trying to go for the third jersey they had last year. I had that really neon greenish look, so I don't know why. I kind of like that neon green. It was interesting. But anyways, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Make sure to share the video, and also let me know in the comments what you think. If you agree or disagree, just make sure to keep it civil. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so additions. They added Ryan Suter at a 4-year, $3.65 million contract. I think that is a good defensive pickup for them, honestly. I really do think that was a good one. I was kind of surprised when Minnesota bought him out. I would have figured they'd keep him and get rid of Parise, but hey. One team's loss, another's gain, right? Luke Glendening signed for 2 years, $1.5 million. Andreas Borgman, 1 year, $750,000. Braden Holtby, 1 year, $2 million. Alex Petrovic, 1 year, $750,000. Depth defender. Braden Holtby has basically just been signed because who knows when. I'm trying to blank on his name. The goalie that missed all last season for him. I'll see his name on the list and I'll point it out. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name right now. Michael Raffel, 1 year, $1.1 million. And Yanni Hakanpää, 3 years, $1.5 million per. Honestly, between Suter and Hakanpää, that's a couple of good defensive defenders that they added. I mean, Suter can add a little bit of offense here and there. Hakanpää, maybe a goal if you're lucky. But he's a good stay-at-home physical defender, where Suter is a very good all-around defender. Well, he's been a very good all-around defender in the past. I wouldn't say he's a great offensive player, but he can add that offense. This is their subtractions. Andrew Cogliano went to San Jose. Justin Dowling to Vancouver. Mark Pysyk back to Buffalo. Taylor Fedun to Pittsburgh. Jason Dickinson was traded to Vancouver for a third-round pick. And Stephen Johns retired. So I would say Dickinson of all would probably be the biggest loss. I can't say that they lost a ton. I mean, Cogliano was a depth veteran forward, which case, I mean, they added Raffel and Glendening to replace those two. So, I mean, honestly, I think they're better this year than last year with the additions so far. Who they re-signed? Joseph Ciccone, re-signed 1 year, $750,000. Joel Kiviranta, great year last year. Re-signed 2 years, $1.05 million. Definitely improved contract. Miro Heiskanen re-signed 8 years, $8.45 million per season. I think it's a decent deal. I mean, I hesitate when you see the long-term contracts worth that much. But he is, like 22, 23 years old. So this will put him to be like 30, 31. That's not terrible. Whereas like Doughty's already 30, 31, and they signed him for 8 years. That's gonna hurt you at the end of the contract more in the beginning, but it's gonna hurt eventually. Where this one, I don't think it's necessarily gonna hurt at that price or at that length, unless he has a lot of injuries later on towards the end of it. But hopefully, it does not. Blake Como, they also re-signed for 1 year, $1 million. This is their projected cap hit, $85.5 million. They are definitely over the cap right now, so their cap space is 0. So they need to cut some. That's what training camp is for. Alright, forwards. They have, hopefully Sagan will play the whole season. I mean, he looked good in the few games he played last year. Jamie Benn definitely missed him, and also Radulov, who was out most of the year. Pavelski had a beast of a year, so I would not be surprised if he has another good year, if they re-sign him since he's UFA after this year. Same with Radulov, who hopefully can stay healthy for them. He's a UFA after this year, as is Michael Raffel and Blake Como. Those two I think you can sign for cheaper for sure. Denis Gurianov had a pretty good year. I mean, definitely could improve a little bit still, but I mean, he is only 24. He's got time. He's an RFA after this year. Jason Robertson, that kid was a beast offensively for him last year, and you know what? He's an RFA this year. I have a feeling he's going to do just as good, if not better, honestly. Because contract year, you want that money, right? Alright, on the defensive side. Wait, did I miss anybody on the forward side? Roddick Fox hopefully can have a better year. Same with Rupe Hintz. I mean, neither one had a terrible year, but hopefully better. Joel Kivaranta had a great year. I mean, Carroll had a good year. I mean, he's 29 years old, so I mean, he's not supposed to be someone who puts up a ton of numbers, but he had a good year. And there's Haskinen with that bright, shiny new contract. He is 22, so 8 years. That'll put him about 30 years old, maybe that in between 30 and 31. But yeah, I think that term and that amount for that time to bank in 30 years old, that's a good contract. Esa Lindell is another defender they have under contract. John Klingberg is a UFA. Now, if this team for some reason falters with injuries and such, then I can definitely see Klingberg being traded this year. Hopefully not, but because honestly I want to see Dallas do well, but hey, you know what? If you don't do well, you look for contracts like Klingberg's and the talent of Klingberg who will get them a good return. Where Andre Sekera, they'll get a late round draft pick at best, if anybody wants him. And there's Ryan Suter's new contract. Definitely a lot less than the previous one, but he's getting paid for it, so it doesn't matter. Take less. There's Hakanpää as well, and Joel Hanley down there. So honestly, we'll go over their defense later. Ben Bishop is the goalie I was thinking of. Dang, I couldn't think of his name. But yeah, he's 2 more years. He didn't play all last season, and as far as I know, I have not heard if he is playing this year or not. I'd imagine with signing Holtby, he probably is not expected to right away, but we'll see. And of course, Kadoma is still there too. Alright, on the non-roster forward area, they have Ty Falhaber and Riley Tuft? Riley Tuft. I'm going to go with Tuft. Jordan Kawaguchi, Frederick Karlstrom, Nicholas Kamano, and Joel Lesbrance are all RFAs, where Kamano and Lesbrance have played NHL games, so I can see them being re-signed. I mean, you had Ty Dellandrea, he played some games last year. But yeah, they don't have any UFAs on this list. Wow. And Maverick Bork is one of their younger prospects. I don't think he'll make it this year. He's only 19. He's got time. And he's junior eligible, so I think he'll go back to junior. Alright, on the defensive side, you have Ryan Shea, Benjamin Gleason, Joseph Kokoni are all RFAs after this season. Alex Petrovic and Andreas Borgman are UFAs. So, there's that. I mean, they have Kokoni, I believe, played games last year. Petrovic has played NHL games. So, I mean, he's the depth defender for sure. Goalies, they had Jake Ottinger, who, honestly, they have 4 goalies on this team. Ottinger was amazingly good last year, and he's a young, up-and-coming goalie at this point. So, I would not be surprised if he's playing and they trade away a goalie or 2. But they have Ottinger and Colton Point are 2 goalies in their non-roster goalies list that are RFAs after this season. How they did in the 2021 draft. They had 1 first-round pick, Wyatt Johnston at 23. I'm not too familiar with Wyatt Johnston, I'm not going to lie to you. But, I mean, when you pick 23rd, you're not expecting a guy who's going to hop in right away. You're not. I mean, this is a project player, so let's see how it plays out. But there's that. And, of course, at 138, they picked Jack Barr. That's an awesome name. Let's see. Who else? Any other fun names? Sorry, I like to see the fun names on there. But yeah, you can see the rest of the people who are drafted. I mean, I can't see any that really fell a whole lot that were expected to be higher picks. So, but that's who they picked. We'll see who makes it. Now, for their 2022 draft and beyond, for the next 3 years, they have all their own picks. No extras, no less, all their own. So, that's good news at least. This is their forward roster. Now, you can see the injured reserve Ben Bishop down there, so I'm not sure if he's expected to play at all this season, but that definitely helps their goaltending situation. Alexander Radulov still has that the little red cross symbol there. So, he is still injured, evidently. So, hopefully he can play more than the 11 games he played last year. Yes, 11 games he played. Their first line that is listed here in the depth charts from Catfriendly.com, go check out, great resource. Jamie Benn played every game, or not every game, but close to every game. Had 35 points in 52 games. Tyler II played 3 games, had 2 goals. And Alexander Radulov played 11 games, had 12 points in those 11 games, so he was effective in his 11 games, but played only 11 out of 56. It's not good enough. So they definitely need to stay healthy, and they will be a better team, I think. I mean, that or they just need to take a lot of penalties and let Joe Pavelski just score a lot of power play goals. That's the other option. Because they also had Jason Robertson listed on the second line, 45 points in 51 games. Great rookie year. Rupe Hintz, he missed time, played only 41 games, had 43 points in that time though, so he had a great season, so hopefully he can keep that up. And Joe Pavelski, 51 points in 56 games. Great year for a 37-year-old who looked like he was offensively done last year, so that's a definite positive. Third line, they have Como, Faksa, and Garyanov. And Garyanov had 30 points in 55 games. That's good output. I can definitely see him filling in if there's injuries again. You have Joel Kiviranta, who had 11 points in 26 games. Luke Glendening, they brought out from Detroit. And Michael Raffle from... Where was he from? Was he from Philly and Washington last year? I think is what it was. It was 2 teams for sure. Defensively, they had Esa Lindell. They have Esa Lindell with John Klingberg. Okay, I can see that. Ryan Suter with Miro Heiskanen. I think that would be a great pairing. I really do. Because Suter will definitely help Heiskanen develop his game further. And Heiskanen did not have as much of an offensive outburst last year as I think a lot of people expected. 27 points in 55 games. That's a good output for a defender. It is. It's nothing to be disappointed with. The only thing I'd say that would be disappointing is I think a lot of people expected more offense than that from him, honestly. But you know what? This team, like I said, was missing 2/3 of their first line most of the season, not all of it. So that also hurts. Third pair, you have Andrei Sekera and Yanni Hakanpää. Hakanpää, I'm still sad he's not on the Ducks anymore. I liked him. He was fun to watch. Like I said, he does not provide much offensively. 4 points in 57 games between Anaheim and Carolina. But dude has some good hitting skills. I'll give him that. Honestly, Andrei Sekera had more goals than him last year. Wow, that's kind of surprising. Goalie-wise, they listed it as Khudobin and Holtby. I have a hard time believing Ottinger is not going to be one of the goalies. I think they're going to be running a 3-goalie team this year. I really do. Scratches, they have Joel Hanley, Nicholas Kamano, and Tanner Kero. Tanner Kero has 10 points in 39 games. I mean, he was a 4th liner, definitely going to be a 4th liner if he plays. So he had a great year, honestly, for a 4th liner. 10 points is nothing to be ashamed of as a 4th liner. Alright, on the minor side, Ty Dellandrea played for him last year, 5 points in 26 games. Rhett Gardner, 2 points in 28 games. And Joel Lesperance, 2 points in 12 games. So those 3 definitely are going to be guys that call up if they need them, for sure. Andreas Borgman had 2 points in 7 games last year, not with Dallas. Petrovic did not even play in the NHL last year. Wow. Ottinger was 11-8 with a 2.36 and 911 save percentage last year. Alright, for the top prospects, you have... I had a hard time finding a top 10 for this team. I don't know why. This year and last year, I had not been able to find an accurate top 10 for this team. I don't know if people just don't do top 10 prospect lists for Dallas or what, but I cannot find them. It has been very difficult to find. I'm sure I can find them now, because maybe I just look when it's a time when they don't have them up yet, but I always seem to never be able to find this team. So the one I found was from last year, in which case they listed Jason Robertson as their first prospect, and I can see why. 45 points in 51 AHL games makes sense. Jake Ollinger is number 2, 11-8-0 in 29 NHL games. Had a very good season too. Maverick Bourque, 5 points in 6 AHL games and 43 points in 20 QMJHL games. Thomas Harley, 25 points in 38 AHL games. Ty Dellandrea, 5 points in 26 NHL games and 6 points in 8 AHL games. I just listed Wyatt Johnston because I figure he's their first round pick. He has to be in their top 10 somewhere. At least you hope. Season outlook. I see this team being a middle range team. They have a good enough team to definitely make some noise. That's for sure. but they also have a very tough division. So I'm saying they're middle range team just based off of that tough division. If they were in the Pacific, I would say they're definitely going to be a number 1, number 2 team. But they're not in the Pacific, at least anymore. They were at one time, not anymore. So in that Central Division, I believe, is that Central there? Yeah. Central Division, it is a very tough division. I mean, you got Colorado, you got St. Louis, you got Dallas. I'm drawing blanks on teams right now, but it is a very stacked division. Minnesota is another one. But yeah, it's a tough division. I figure they're going to finish about middle of their division, I think. I mean, they may finish higher than that. Honestly, they may. But they're definitely a middle range team, and they definitely have the ability to be good. But it's all depending on that first line being healthy. Second plays the whole year, that's going to be a huge difference. If Second and Radulov play all year and don't look like they missed a step, which I can see more of a misstep in Radulov than Second, just based off of the fact that Radulov is 35. You do slow down with healing at some point or another in your life. That is inevitability. Trust me, I'm 35 this year, and healing takes longer now than when I was younger. That's just part of life. So hopefully he can come back, because he is definitely a good enough player. I mean, 12 points in 11 games last year. He can definitely provide the offense still. So this team has the ability. It's just a matter of health and just getting solid goaltending, because last year the goaltending was everywhere. So hopefully they can get those things, and they'll be a good team this year, I have a feeling. Alright, that's all I got for the Dallas Stars. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share the video as well, and I will see you on next video. Bye, everybody.